Please be seated. Good morning and welcome. I am Dr. Krista Curry, Acting Provost and the Master of Ceremonies for Commencement. This graduating class is part of a long tradition we have established at Mount St. Joseph University. So it is indeed an honor to welcome our graduates, members of their families, and friends to the 111th Mount St. Joseph University Commencement. I would like to thank many individuals here today who have contributed to the achievement of these graduates. The family and friends of our graduates have played a vital role in supporting and encouraging these students to reach their educational goals. We want you to know that we appreciate you. Will the family and friends of our graduates please stand to be recognized? To the members of the stage party and other special guests, I'm pleased you are here to celebrate this occasion. I would like to introduce members of the staff and Board of Trustees and thank you for your leadership. Dr. H. James Williams, University President. Mr. Jeff Birding, Speaker and Honorary Degree recipient. Garrett Bascom, Class of 2017, representing Alumni Association. Sister Karen Elliott, Director of Mission Integration. Janet Cox, Dean of Students. Catherine McMullen, Chairperson, Board of Trustees. Harold Brown, Board of Trustees. Jonathan Hiltz, Board of Trustees. Judge Sylvia Hendon, Board of Trustees. Ann Saluk, Board of Trustees. And Jenny Taylor, Registrar. In addition, I want to thank the members of our President's Cabinet. Paige Ellerman, Vice President, Compliance, Risk, and Legal Affairs. Jeff Briggs, Chief Financial Officer. Cindy Prohaska, Vice President of Institutional Advancement. Jeff Wampler, Vice President of Marketing. And Chris Powers, Vice President of Enrollment. These dedicated professionals have demonstrated extraordinary leadership as we make decisions to move Mount St. Joseph University into the future. As I mentioned earlier, it's also a pleasure to have Garrett Bascom, Class of 17, representing the Alumni Association. Please join me in thanking Garrett and all of our alumni for their support of the Mount and all of our graduates. The next group I would like to recognize is a very special group. These individuals make Mount St. Joseph University graduates the very best. Their dedication is the key to the success of every graduate. I am, of course, referring to the Mount faculty and staff. Would the faculty and staff please rise to be recognized? Commencement is always a memorable event for our graduates. You have worked so hard for so long, and for a few hours on this important day, you don your caps and gowns and celebrate your achievements, family and friends. During your years at the Mount, you have learned not only business or nursing or physical therapy or how to teach a child to read. You have learned to persevere, how to hang in there and keep learning, how to keep writing those papers and studying for those exams while helping your family and friends cope with challenges. Today, you are heroes. And as you become physician assistants or physical therapists or business leaders, or continue your career as teachers or nurses, remember that you will be always and forever, Mount Alumni. I now invite Sister Karen Elliott, Director of Mission and Integration, to the podium to provide our invocation. Gentlemen, please remove your caps.
I ask that you please close your eyes and become aware of the spark of the divine that is within you as a child of God, who created you in the divine image and likeness. Good and gracious God, El Shaddai, Elohim, Adonai, Jehovah, Allah, Lord Shiva, Lakshmi, Great Spirit, Higher Power, and all the sacred and holy names by which you are known. We invoke you this day to be with us and to especially be present with our graduates as we celebrate their accomplishments and pray for their success in their chosen professions. While we celebrate our graduates, we recognize that they did not attain the achievements of this day alone, and we ask you graciously and abundantly to bless their parents, spouses, children, grandparents, aunts and uncles, and dear friends who encouraged, challenged, and assisted them in ways too numerous to count. We pray that you will be with our graduates to lift them up, to light their way, and to grace them with the courage to continue to live with the heart of a lion. Grace our graduates and all of us so that we will work for the common good as we dare to risk a caring response to our world in need. We ask you, Divine Presence, to fill our graduates with the confidence to live the Seton family motto, to hazard yet forward into their chosen professions. Amen. Please stand and remain standing for the national anthem, sung by our student, Joel Williams, music education major. Joel is graduating today in the afternoon ceremony.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It is my pleasure to invite Dr. H. James Williams, President of Mount St. Joseph University, assisted by Catherine McMullen, Chairperson of the Board of Trustees, to help present the candidate for the honorary degree. Would Mr. Jeff Birding please stand?
Thank you, Dr. Curry. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm James Williams, 7th President here at Mount St. Joseph University. We appreciate your joining us for this celebration of excellence and achievement. Mount St. Joseph University is honored to present the Doctor of Humane Letters to Mr. Jeff Birding in recognition of his many achievements of over 20 years, as well as his committed service on the Cincinnati City Council. Jeff is widely known as a co-founder of FC Cincinnati Soccer. Prior to that, he led the sales and public affairs efforts at our NFL franchise, the Bengals. His service and civic leadership to the greater community and United Way have earned him many recognitions. You will hear more about his accomplishments in a few minutes. Mr. Jeff Birding, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the State of Ohio, I confer on you the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. It is now my distinct pleasure to formally introduce Mr. Birding, our commencement speaker. Jeff Birding is the co-CEO of FC Cincinnati, and he also serves as president of the FCC Enterprise, the professional soccer team he co-founded in the summer of 2015. With its arrival in Major League Soccer for the 2019 season, less than 4 years after its founding, FC Cincinnati became the benchmark for organic growth and community-driven sports interests. Now in its 4th year in Major League Soccer, the club is focused on growing its place in the greater Cincinnati region in its new home, a world-class, privately funded, $250 million TQL stadium in the West End neighborhood next to Over the Rhine. Prior to his August 2015 founding of FC Cincinnati, Birding served for more than 19 years as an executive with the Cincinnati Bengals, where he led sales and public affairs efforts for the city's NFL franchise. The hugely successful launch of FC Cincinnati is consistent with Birding's track record of working to make his hometown a better place to live, work, and raise a family. Jeff is president of the FCC Foundation, chairman for Visit Cincy, vice chair for the Cincinnati Regional Business Committee, has volunteered with the Chamber of Commerce for over 20 years, and has added years of committed service to the Cincinnati City Council. He has been awarded numerous civic awards, including a spot among the top 100 leaders in history of the local United Way, recognized in the 2006 40 Under 40 from the Cincinnati Business Courier, was featured at the 2018 Hispanic Chamber Cincinnati USA's annual gala, and was awarded the 2019 EY Entrepreneur Award. Birding is a 5th-generation Cincinnatian, born and raised in Westwood, where he attended St. Xavier High School. He graduated cum laude from Miami University and earned a master's degree in business administration with honors from Xavier in 1999. He has 3 children, Allie, Jack, and Grace. With his wife, Lindsay, the family resides in the city's Mount Lookout neighborhood. Now it is my distinct pleasure to present Mr. Jeff Birding, our commencement speaker.
Thank you, President Williams, for that generous introduction. I'm joined by my wife, Lindsay, and it is our honor and privilege to share this momentous occasion with you. Students, you sit here today with a mastery of your subject and hopefully some lifelong friendships, all of which have been made stronger in surmounting the challenges of a global pandemic. I returned last night from 2 college graduations at Loyola University, Chicago, for my son and younger daughter. Sitting in the audience as a father, I was reminded of your parents' sacrifice and their pride in and hopes for you. I want to ask the new graduates to think for a moment about the people who got you here today. They may be with you, they may no longer be with you. We rarely succeed in life alone, so graduates, think about your family, think about all the faculty and staff, and please join me again in a salute and a round of applause for the people who helped you make today a reality. So as the president noted, I grew up not far from here on the west side in Westwood, one of 10 kids in a large Catholic family. I went to St. Catherine's Grade School, where teachers and coaches who saw something in me that I never saw, they encouraged me to go to St. Xavier High School. My dad said, if you pass the exam, Jeff, we'll figure out the tuition. Okay, so I passed the exam and we figured it out. The Jesuits and teachers at St. X then took over. They imparted that foundational message of men for others, and the seeds of my calling, my purpose, were planted there at St. X. Like some of you, I was the first in my family to go to college, to graduate. That meant for me plowing the snow, digging ditches on breaks, working jobs on campus during semesters. It was harder to take classes while working. I didn't get to go to those spring break beaches or on those winter ski trips like many did. Rather, I worked that construction job. But I didn't see hard work as a negative because I was getting one step closer to where I wanted to be. Fast forward to 2015, Carl Lindner, maybe the top business leader in Cincinnati, he and I were in New York City to pitch the idea of a new professional franchise for Cincinnati to league officials at Major League Soccer. The meeting went well, very well. In fact, it was clear the opportunity was ours for the taking. Carl and I had dinner after the meeting. We discussed how to make this effort successful. We needed to assemble the leadership team to stoke the fire in the community around this new and to start a minor league soccer franchise. Carl said he and his family would take the investment to achieve the plan. They were going to do it. However, before they would commit, he said, to make this happen, he needed me to answer a pretty simple question. Jeff, he asked, are you all in? He said they would only be all in if I were all in. He reminded me it was my idea, my business plan, that I had the professional sports, political, civic experience that had placed me in that moment. To make FCC a reality, I would have to leave the Bengals and jump in with both feet. Both feet. It was not a slam dunk. But I had wanted my kids to have a hometown team of their sport the same way I had grown up on the west side loving the Big Red Machine. So I had written a business plan to create the team. I just didn't think I was going to be the one tapped to run the franchise. It was a life-defining moment. Was I ready? In short, was I all in? I answered yes. Carl pulled the trigger on the funding, and the rest is history. FC Cincinnati was born, and now I'm blessed to be here with you as the club's president and co-CEO. And that is my challenge to all of you today, our graduates, to be all in. All in. So what does to be all in mean? It means rejecting statements like, we'll never get it done, or I don't have time, or someone else can do it. I ran the Flying Pig Marathon last Sunday to prove this all-in point, that nothing is impossible, that with focus on the goal, the discipline of putting the work in, with the perseverance that doesn't allow quitting when it's hard, the sacrifice because the goal is too important to fail, we can achieve what to others seems impossible. I started training 1 mile, worked my way up from there. On Sunday, we had treacherous storms and monsooning rains, and yet my mind and body knew to keep running, one step at a time. Keep going forward. Hours later, a lot of hours later, after 26.2 miles, crossing the finish line and getting the marathon medal nearly brought tears of joy. I'm not blessed with amazing athletic skills. I'm in a business full of them. I'm not a natural-born runner. But I do have the ability, I think we all do, to put the work in to achieving our big goals. I have the ability to be all in. Being all in means leaning in and embracing life's challenges, and sometimes having the courage to create our own. And all in means not just thinking about today or 2023, right? But 2033 and beyond. We need to answer the question, what future are we creating for ourselves and our loved ones? To me, the plan starts with purpose. You're here for a reason. And the most important thing you can do in life is to find, live, and share your purpose. It's the one thing in life that truly matters. President Kennedy famously visited NASA for the first time in 1962. And coming upon a staff member carrying a broom, he asked, "What's your role here, sir?" To which the man beamed and he proudly replied, "Mr. President, I'm putting a man on the moon." That staff member, he was all in, right? He was all in. I've recruited staff to FC Cincinnati with the invitation of building something bigger than ourselves, of creating a legacy of having founded a professional sports team, a soccer franchise that maybe 50 years from now will be the biggest sports team in the region, where you can tell your kids and grandchildren, I helped build that club. I built it. You may not know your purpose yet, so I encourage you then to set about following your passion. It so often leads to your purpose. The important thing is to make it your life mission, to find it, live it, and share it. To help find your passion, seek out jobs and experiences that allow you to use your strengths and gifts. Do what energizes you. Doing what you love enables you to find meaning, doing whatever it takes to make your dreams a reality. Your current or maybe your first Mount St. Joe job may not be your ultimate purpose, but it can serve as a vehicle to live and share that purpose. When I was digging ditches, I was fulfilling my dream of being the first in my family to graduate college. I didn't love the work, but I did find meaning in it. And I valued the blue-collar labor as a reminder of how blessed I was to have the opportunity to earn a college degree. That connectivity to my purpose made me all in, to be the best I could be. I'm confident all of you have had similar experiences to get here today. And speaking of hard work, one thing you'll find hard in life is pivoting, recognizing when you need to make a course correction. We all have to. When I was your age, there was a popular song called "Every Day is a Winding Road." If you're like most people, you won't work the same job or profession throughout your career. In fact, statistics say you'll change jobs or careers 12 times in our lifetime. Has your college education prepared you for this? Has it prepared you to be all in on the winding road? If you're feeling pretty good about that query, I believe you'll know these three values. First, the learning process you navigated to graduation today isn't an end, it's a beginning. Learn from every job and experience. Each job, good or bad, prepares us for the work of our life's purpose. I love the teachings of the author John Gordon and highly recommend him. We use him a lot at FC Cincinnati. He writes in a book, The Seed, that, quote, "The quest for your purpose is not a straight line. It's filled with mystery, signs, obstacles, victories, dead ends, delays, and detours. There's going to be fear, frustration, and loss. Your job is to stay optimistic and faithful on your quest. To stay ahead, you need to commit yourselves today to a lifelong learning." Ted Lasso, people ask me, "Jeff, you must watch Ted Lasso." I watch Ted Lasso. In a favorite episode, he instructs patrons in a bar to, quote, "Be curious. Be curious. To change and adapt, you must be intensely curious about the world, to changing conditions and your place in it. I believe we're either growing or dying. If you aren't learning, and I don't just mean your formal training or your classrooms, you're going to stagnate, and others will pass you by, and your dreams may die. So grow in your faith, your intellect, your relationships, and commit each day to be one step further to the best version of yourself. To not stagnate, you need to be a sponge. Read everything you can. Talk to as many people. Volunteer to take on tasks beyond your comfort zone. I tell my staff, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Get in the room with all the smarter people. So lifelong learning means always moving forward, but with the wisdom that you may have to take a side street to get there. And about that side street, the second thing to remember in preparing to adapt to changing jobs or new career is to build a network of relationships, right? Build your team. John Gordon writes in his book, The Energy Bus, which I've required every staff member at FC Cincinnati to read, that you are the driver of your bus. You get to decide who's on your bus. You get to invite people on. Sometimes you get to park the bus and ask people to get off your bus, right? Look around your life from time to time. If you don't have a strong enough team to help you achieve your goals, set about to meet new people, right, who you want to have on your bus. Invite them on. Build a network of supportive people that can satisfy the curiosity I talked about, learning from their different experiences. Meet people where they are, and don't forget those on the margins. They may become your most important backers. When we faced loud opposition to building our stadium in the West End, I went door to door to listen to people, listen to our new neighbors. I heard their fear, learned of their distrust, and I was inspired by their hopes. We negotiated, signed, and have exceeded a historic community benefits agreement. And now the residents of the West End are our strongest supporters. Your team should help you build self-awareness and grit. Being on a team also helps us through adversity. Remember, it's easy to win alone, but God bless us to have a team around us when we suffer loss. All of us are going to have loss in life. All of us are going to have adversity. I thank God for my supporters, for Lindsay and my family during those first 3 seasons as an MLS expansion team. We had a lot of loss. And this brings me to my final element of preparing for the winding road. If you remember nothing else from today's remarks about being all in, please remember these 2 words: embrace change. Embrace change. It's a cliche to say change is the only constant, but cliches tend to stick because there is truth in them. And the truth here is that change isn't a threat, it's an opportunity. Change, while making life more interesting, also makes life more difficult. Think about what's ahead, right? New bosses, new skills, new processes. Change. Change is what's ahead. So be open to new opportunity, since your dream job may not be the one you dreamed about. I was a political science major at Miami, diplomacy, Russian language. I thought I would someday be a U.S. senator, or at least a U.S. ambassador. But somehow God opened a door by inspiring me to found and run a Major League Soccer franchise here in my hometown. I wanted to change the world and ended up doing so through soccer right here in Cincinnati. Because I do believe that our sports teams have an obligation, not an opportunity, an obligation to lead, inspire, and unite us. So I changed course. And I hope I'm a model for how often we end up in amazing careers that have nothing to do with our college education, right? Our degree or even our childhood dreams, if we go all in with a willingness to embrace change. With all this change, I hope there's one constant for each of you. I want to encourage you that whatever you do, wherever your job will take you post-graduation, on your journey, that you'll decide to serve others. Scripture teaches us, to whom much is given, much is expected. You now have a college degree. When you serve in small ways, you'll get more opportunities to serve in bigger ways. Before I end, 2 notes of caution. 1, don't rush the future. You may want things to happen now, but more than likely, if you got what you wanted now, you wouldn't be ready. John Gordon writes that the purpose process prepares you, strengthens you, shapes you, and grows you to be successful, not in your time, but in the right time. Just be ready. And then second, don't compare yourself to others. Please don't. We don't know what other burdens people are carrying. We don't know what's going on in their life. We're only in charge of our journey, of our own place in the world. We have a culture DNA code at FCC. One value is own your stuff. Own your stuff. Just yours, no one else's. I started today talking about purpose and identifying where your talents and efforts fit with this larger calling. It doesn't have to be putting a man on the moon, but it should be something that makes your hard work tied to your larger purpose for yourself, your family, and the world. And I'm here today to say, for your hopes and dreams in life, you have to be all in. Truly, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not all in. Your university's mission, its purpose, is to light the way. And lighting the way means lifelong learning, relationship building, and embracing change. And this doesn't end today with graduation, it begins. So remember yesterday and all that Mount St. Joseph has taught you. Remember today and your commitment to being all in. And most importantly, think about tomorrow and all that you can do. And let what you've learned here at Mount St. Joe guide you in the years ahead. Let it inspire you to live a life with humility, with charity, and love. And let it spark the match, fan the flame, and light the way. Congratulations, class of 2023. Light the way. The world awaits and needs you. Thank you very much.
We wish to thank Jeff Birding for being part of our commencement ceremonies and inspiring so many through his leadership and work across our city. He has made a huge difference in the greater Cincinnati community. Graduates, we hope you will go forward from the Mount and do the same. Candidates for our degrees will now be presented. Following the presentation of all candidates, Dr. H. James Williams, President, will confer the degrees. Will the audience please withhold applause until all candidates are presented? This will allow for all graduate names to be heard and recognized. Our readers for today are Harrison Coyer, Chair and Director of Accreditation, Assessment, and Clinical Experiences, Department of Education. He will present the candidate for the Master's of Arts degree. Dr. Jamal Rashid, Professor, Department of Business Administration, who will present the candidates for the Master's of Business Administration degree and Master of Science in Organizational Leadership. Professor Patrick Cafferty, Chair and Program Director, Department of Physician Assistant Studies, will present the candidates for Masters of Science in Nursing and Masters in Physician Assistant Studies. And finally, Dr. Kristen Clefane, Associate Professor and Program Director, will present the candidates for the Doctor of Nursing Practice and the Doctor of Physical Therapy degrees.
Mr. President, I have the high honor to present the following candidates for master degrees. Candidates for the degree of Master of Arts, please come forward. Leslie Marie Adams. Annabelle Elizabeth Dean. Erin Kaylee Dinkalocker. Amy Lynn DeBroni. Krista Elena Eleanor Dobsonai. Katia Lori Amamouche. Allison Rose McGinnis. Jennifer Marie Mullenkamp. Anne Frazee Porter. Nicholas Lawrence Riesenbeck. Julia Ann Rutherford. Olivia H. Schuholm. Leanne Stevens. Jennifer Lynn Thomas. Sierra Bailey Nicole Trusty. Caitlin Danielle Tyree. Maria Venturini. Josephine Marie Was. Erica L. Youngling. Sydney Sloan Zwick.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present the following candidates for master degrees. Candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration, please come forward. Thomas Joseph Ahrens. Ashton Cole Burke. Tanner Anthony Claus. Tristan Everly Farsky. Richard Carl Feller. Nathan Michael Hill. Josh A. Cable. Cameron Jacob Lane. Tessa Jane Mays. Jack Parker Spawn. Zachary S. Thompson. Patricia Kathleen Wintall. Matthew Eugene Zinzer. Candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Organization Leadership, please come forward. Joyce Marie Buttercliff. Paula Caroline Bayer. Kelly Joe Bruns. Joy Michelle Carter. Samantha Leanne Cavendish. Gregory Walter Goldschmidt, Jr. Cheryl Eileen Halbeisen. Melissa Herkins. Carrie A. Hoffman. Tonya Harton. Cheryl L. Kaufang.
Congrats. How are you?
Christina Louise May.
McEwen.
Patrick Joseph McEwen. Andrew Thomas Prising. Trisha Kathleen Sarvak. Rashela Valentine. Christopher John Wade.
Valencia.
Valencia Williams.
President, I have the honor to present the following candidates for master degrees. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Nursing, please come forward. Deborah Geris Baragani. Christina Bianca Boja. Mackenzie Custer. Daniel Walter Ferguson. Renee Alejandro Flores. Eric Mark Godey. Brianna Nicole Goins. Brendan Patricia Hollingsworth. Astrid Mendez. Lucas Hanks Morales. Mavis Ofoha. Paige Elizabeth Picola. Chloe Jade Rickman. Zachary Stephen Schott. Emily Margaret Tirado. LaShawna A. Watkins. Michael Jacob Whitaker. Fang Yin.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present the following candidates for doctorate degrees. Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Nursing Practice, please come forward. Shannon Patricia Gotha. Jennifer Hall. Beverly Nicole Helms. Cody Ann Jackson. Amanda Marie Luciano. Heather Ann Marath. Anthony McElvoy Zaya. Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Physical Therapy, please come forward. Haley Boitnott. Emily Michelle Dean. Hema Dave Gunn. Zachary Charles Dickman. Mary Cheyenne Dunseith. Brandon Richard Gibson. Whitney Olivia Lane Henson. Mariah Brooke Kinney. Chad Brian Michaels. Amanda K. Reif. Emma Christy Lynn Roth. Haley Joanna Sabo. Shannon Summers. Aaron Taylor. Brian Thomas Westerlund. Nathaniel David Will. Jamie Marie Zickus. I now invite President Williams to return to the podium for the conferring of degrees.
Will the candidates for the master's and doctoral degrees please stand for the conferring of the degree? By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the State of Ohio, I confer on you the degree for which you have been nominated and welcome you into the ranks of the Mount Alumni. Graduates, you may move your tassels from right to left. Please be seated.
I am pleased to recognize students who have received awards for outstanding achievement in their academic programs. These awards have been presented previously at the Honors Convocation during the celebration of teaching and learning that took place on April 13th, or in other department ceremonies. Students' names appear in your commencement program. The Mount St. Joseph University Distinguished Student Award is presented to a student who has demonstrated superior academic performance as well as an active participation in community service consistent with the Catholic mission of the university. I am honored to present the Mount St. Joseph University Distinguished Student Award to Amy Lynn Daubeny. Today, Amy received her master's degree in education. Amy, please come forward. Congratulations, Amy. It is my pleasure to present Amy Lynn Daubeny as our distinguished student speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Curry. Good morning, faculty, staff, family, friends, guests, and fellow graduates. I am honored to speak here today, but first, congratulations, graduates of the class of 2023. We did it. I'd like to take this moment to thank my peers and invite you to do the same. Together, we've held each other up with kind words and encouragement. I'd like to honor the sacrifices each of you has made. These last couple of years have been hard. It has been hard for our families, our significant others, our children, our friends, and even our pets. If you ask my menagerie, they'd say they've been highly neglected, and we have the receipts to prove it. And to the faculty and staff of Mount St. Joseph, on behalf of all of us, and especially those in the Reading Science program, thank you. You truly exemplify this university's mission, and you really mean it when you say it is about something much bigger than any of us. I am here today because of a journey down a path that began for me 24 years ago. As Maya Angelou said so aptly, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. I opened doors that I never thought would bring me here. For me, it all started at work, the day that I quite snarkily commented about a coworker's horrible spelling and handwriting in a most disparaging and judgmental way, and worst of all, to his face. Charming, I know, but this man later became my husband. Lucky for me, he saw past this oh so endearing moment on my part. This moment sticks out because it opened the door that led me to learn about myself, about compassion, about humility. What I didn't know then is that my husband has a learning difference. Neither did he. I could not understand how this incredibly brilliant man couldn't spell well or read easily. It wasn't until our own children began school that we discovered the reason why. My equally brilliant daughter knew she learned differently as soon as she began kindergarten. Just a few weeks in, she came home and told us she was stupid and couldn't learn like her classmates. Through our search for answers about our daughter, we learned that she, my son, and husband all have dyslexia, a neurobiological brain difference that impacts an estimated 12 to 20% of the population and makes learning to read and spell difficult and nearly impossible without being taught through scientifically based approaches. I learned that not only was there an issue with addressing dyslexia in our local schools and state, but nationwide, and that these issues weren't isolated to dyslexia and impacted far more. In fact, today, 54% of Americans are functionally illiterate. Because of this, I felt impassioned to learn about reading science, which has brought me here today. This journey has taught me that reading is a civil right. It is a matter of human dignity. Your ability to read is not because of your intelligence, it is because of the privilege of learning to read. An education that we can access despite any barriers, be it learning differences, resources, etc., is a privilege. This journey has taught me about the value of gratefulness, sharing that, and being in service to others and easing their way. For it is truly in giving that we receive. This journey has taught me the value of letting our light shine no matter the circumstances. My son, my daughter, and my husband have especially taught me this. In truth, they exemplify it. Rachel, Michael, Clay, you inspire me. This journey has most importantly taught me about humility and definitely the ability to laugh at yourself. And that humility is not simply about being humble, but it's also about remaining teachable in all circumstances and throughout your life. As I conclude, my hope for you on the journey down your path is the ability to remain humble and teachable. I hope for you excellence in your continued quest for learning. I hope for you the ability to remain in service to others. I hope for you profound moments of gratefulness. And I hope for you a large measure of joy and humor. I hope for you to find, if you haven't already, that's something that's much bigger than any of us. And finally, most importantly, I hope your light shines brilliantly, because when the light shineth in darkness, the darkness comprehends it not. And never forget, as Lily Tomlin said, the road to success is always under construction. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. It is my pleasure to invite President H. James Williams back to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Curry. Good morning. On behalf of the faculty, the staff, the students, the alumni, and the Board of Trustees, and in honor of our foundresses, the Sisters of Charity of Cincinnati, I want to add my welcome to this 111th commencement ceremony. We're very pleased to have you join us as we celebrate excellence and achievement. Of course, I must begin by recognizing the Sisters of Charity of Cincinnati. They are our foundresses, and we appreciate them for the heritage and values that continue to sustain us even now, 103 years later. Are any sisters in the audience? And if not, we're still going to recognize them in absentia. Thank you. Thank you very much. I also want to recognize and acknowledge my lovely wife and your First Lady, Carol Campbell Williams. Thanks for all you do for the Mount. And as you stand, I also think about tomorrow's being Mother's Day. And so in anticipation of Mother's Day, can we ask mothers around the auditorium to stand so we can recognize you? Absolutely. Absolutely. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day indeed. Thank you. I'd also like to start by thanking our two speakers. They shared such heartfelt, passionate, and inspiring comments. I know we're all better off for what they've shared with us today. So thank you. Hear, hear. Thanks. And now for the 2023 spring semester graduates, a charge, if you will. First, I extend special thanks to all who joined us for this commencement celebration. While COVID-19 disrupted much of the last couple of years for many of these outstanding young men and women, I commend them for persevering and exerting the extra energy and effort required to overcome not just COVID, but the many obstacles that raised their heads during their tenure here as they educated themselves. Congratulations, graduates. You overcame them all. It may also be worth noting for yourselves that in fact, there are no accidents, for every effect must have its cause. The past is the cause of the present, and the present will be the cause of the future. Famous words spoken by Abraham Lincoln. You aren't here by accident, not by happenstance, not by serendipity. You're here because of the work that you've done to get things done when you needed to get them done, to educate yourselves well. Congratulations. Absolutely. Still, as much as you worked diligently and sacrificed significantly, you know you didn't do it alone. Thus, we join you in offering congratulations to all of the parents, extended family members, and friends who supported you in achieving your goals and who now turn out to celebrate your accomplishment. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, we can't thank our families enough, can we? Indeed, we applaud your success in educating yourselves well, and more important, cementing your understanding of the value of education, which positions you well for lifelong learning. The choices we make dictate the lives we live. Indeed, for some of you, a college education is the price of admission to the profession you have chosen. Good for you. For others, you made that choice simply to educate yourselves better. You understand the imperative of continuous improvement, and you are striving to be the very best you can be in your chosen profession and in your lives. You know that higher education opens doors, provides options, and enhances appreciation for so much of God's great wonders. Indeed, you've earned a future full of options and choices that you can make. And while the future will provide challenges, I assure you, the rewards you are positioned to achieve will be great and even profound. You will excel. There's no doubt in my mind. You need only believe in Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and the future. Hope and the future indeed, graduates. You are future world leaders, citizens of the world. Go boldly and capitalize on the preparedness and optimism that have become the hallmarks of a Mount education. Class of 2023, it is a promise of who you can be, that education at the Mount, what you can achieve. It's a promise to educate scholars and leaders one by one. You must now bring that promise to fruition in all you do. You are scholars and leaders. Go now and be extraordinary. Be all in and embrace change. And remember, simplicity, humility, and charity. Care for all creation and dare to risk a caring response. Congratulations, graduates.
It It is now my pleasure to introduce Garrett Bascom, class of 2017, from the Alumni Association, to the podium. Since leaving the Mount with his degree in Communications and New Media Study, Garrett attended law school at Indiana University and worked full-time in the Indiana Attorney General's office, where he held various roles, including Special Assistant to the Chief Deputy Attorney General and then Deputy Attorney General. He then left state government to come home and work as Deputy Prosecutor for Dearborn County. In 2023, Garrett started Bascom Law, LLC, to better serve the citizens of Southeast Indiana. Please join me in welcoming Garrett Bascom to the podium.
It's my honor to officially welcome you to the Alumni. Today is one of the most important new beginnings of your life. And I'm sure that there are folks here at all stages. There are some of you that have known what you've wanted to do, and you may already be doing that. There are some of you that may have discovered your passion right here at Mount St. Joe. And I'm sure that there are some of you guys that are still working it out. No matter where you find yourself today, just know you're not alone. When I graduated in 2017 from Mount St. Joseph, and in 2020 from IU McKinney, I had a full-time job at the Indiana Attorney General's office. I thought I was going to be there forever. Fast forward to today, and I started my own law practice at the beginning of the year. I never would have seen that coming at either of those stages. Changes are going to happen. In my experience, it's actually a rare person who sits in your seat and looks back and is exactly where they predicted to be 15, 10, even 5 years down the road. The most important thing is that you recognize opportunity and keep moving forward. So as you graduate today, I have 3 challenges for you. The first is to seize the opportunities that you have earlier in your career. I've had a painting in every office that I've had with the phrase carpe diem that was done by my stepmother to remind me of that. Seize the day. You will get opportunities early in your career that will set you on the course for your life. Take advantage of those opportunities and say yes early and often. When you are just starting, opportunity abounds. It is at that time that people will be the most willing to give you advice and mentor you. Those early connections are oftentimes invaluable, and learning from those that have been in your field can really help confirm your choice, or even let you know it's not too late to change directions. If you take this time early to say yes, you will build your reputation as a go-getter so that when your chance comes up, you are first in line. You only get one chance to make that first impression, and those impressions can last a lifetime. I've been blessed to have great mentors in my life who have and continue to give me opportunities, and I can tell you I wouldn't be here today without all of them. The second challenge is to live according to an old Greek proverb that I discovered during my time here at MSJ. It reads, "Society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in." Imagine if we all did things with an eye towards the greater good and having a positive impact for those that will come after us. You are fortunate to be graduating from Mount St. Joseph. You have a leg up and a responsibility coming from this institution. The university started with a mission and a vision, and it continues to live out that mission and vision to this day and imparts that on all of us during our time here. Get involved in your community. Get involved with your professional organizations. Make those connections and alliances early. Live out the old Teddy Roosevelt speech and be that man in the arena. And this leads into the third challenge, which is to light the way. Show the world what it means to be a graduate of Mount St. Joseph. Pay it forward to your local community and pay it forward to this community and future generations of Mount St. Joseph students. I know that I was fortunate to work with Mount Alumni when I was enrolled here, and those connections continue to influence me to this day. When I was in Indianapolis, I was notorious for sharing the story of the Mount, and you'd be surprised the reach of this university. I'm sure that each of you have your own unique Mount story, so tell that story. Share the experience that you had here. When you get time, come back. Help the next you who is going through school. Help this university thrive for the next generation. So as you go forward today, remember, carpe diem, plant your tree, and light the way for the next generation. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Garrett. It is so nice to have you back on campus. While a student, Garrett was a leader in the Student Government Association, which I get the great opportunity to advise. He served as both president and treasurer and serving on various university-wide committees. I still often refer to Indiana as the great state of Indiana due to his use of this phrase and impressing that upon me to use it also. It's great to have you back with us in the mountain. We look forward to everything you will bring to us in the future. So thank you. Let's hear it for Garrett. One of the great traditions at the Mount is the recessional that takes place after each commencement ceremony when our graduates exit the arena and walk through a receiving line of faculty and staff offering them congratulations. The weather is sunny, so we will be doing our regular procession. Yay! This congratulatory line of the stage party, followed by the faculty, exit the rear of the gym. I hope you enjoy their heartfelt joy and pride in all you have achieved and succeeded in, graduates. Following the benediction, family guests, you must remain in your places until the stage party, faculty, and the graduates have completely left the gym under the direction of our wonderful faculty marshals, Dr. Jennifer Withrow and Dr. Carrie Getz. You may then exit through the main doors of Harrington, where you entered, and meet your graduates on the driveway to take photos around campus in the quad or in front of our newly installed mountain lion sculpture in front of the Centennial Fieldhouse. We ask for your cooperation to make this a smooth process, as we have a short time to turn and prepare the facilities for another commencement this afternoon. Unless you made advance reservations for the brunch in the Fifth Third Dining Hall, please exit the parking areas promptly, and thank you so much for your cooperation in helping us get this accomplished. Graduates, stay safe and be well. Enjoy your special day of celebration. Blessings as you begin this new chapter as a Mount alum. We're so happy to be able to host this ceremony, and I thank the graduation committee, members, administration, registrar, campus police, buildings and grounds, emergency response, and our faculty and staff and volunteers who work to make this program happen today. I would like to now invite Harold Brown from our Board of Trustees to provide our benediction.
As we prepare to depart, let us pray. Good and gracious God, we ask that your blessing be upon these graduates as they and their families and friends rejoice and celebrate this day. May they find comfort in knowing that the Mount community will continue to embrace and support them as they journey through life. Bless their lives from this day on with goodness, integrity, and faithfulness. Help them to stay true to their dreams, all for your greater honor and glory, to discern what is right, good, and just, and to use their gifts wisely in service to others and to advance the common good. May they face each day with faith, hope, and great love. Grace them and grace each of us. We make our prayer in your holy and sacred name. Amen.